Money is not just paper, nor is it just numbers glowing on a screen. Money is energy, precise, responsive, attentive. It listens to the rhythm of your life. It studies your habits. It watches your choices. And it does not move by accident. Money is drawn to discipline the way a river is drawn to gravity, and it runs from excuses the way light runs from darkness. Because money understands something many people forget: discipline is order, and order is prosperity. Excuses are chaos, and chaos is poverty. You can speak abundance, dream abundance, manifest abundance, but if your habits vibrate at the frequency of excuses, money will treat you like a closed door. People ask for wealth while practicing avoidance. They pray for opportunity while worshipping procrastination. They want success without showing up for it. And money, with all its wisdom, simply says, you are not ready yet. Money flows where it feels safe. It grows where it is respected. It multiplies where it is managed. It thrives in the hands of the disciplined, the ones who show up when no one is clapping, the ones who plan when others sleep, the ones who create clarity where others live in confusion. A disciplined person becomes a vessel for abundance because discipline is a declaration. I honor my future more than my excuses. Excuses are the soft whispers that promise comfort but deliver captivity. They say, do it later, but later never comes. They say, you don't feel like it. Knowing feelings change every hour. They say, you're not ready, while stealing the very readiness you seek. Every excuse you entertain becomes a brick in the wall between you and the life you desire. But discipline is the key that unlocks every locked door. It is the quiet power that transforms a scattered life into a focused force. Discipline does not attack you, it elevates you. It does not restrain you, it strengthens you. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary creators. When you choose discipline, you speak the language money understands. You say, I am prepared, I am aligned, I am trustworthy. Money hears that and responds. It responds when you budget with intention. It responds when you save with purpose. It responds when you invest with courage. It responds when you work with commitment. It responds because you have proven that you are a worthy steward of abundance. Your thoughts, too, play their part. Thoughts of order attract order. Thoughts of excuses attract delay. And every delay is a thief of destiny. When you choose disciplined thinking, your mind becomes fertile soil. Ideas grow. Opportunities appear. Doors open. The universe rearranges itself to support your consistency. Small daily disciplines become the quiet miracles that reshape your entire financial reality. 10 minutes of learning, 1 hour of focused work, 1 act of self-control. These tiny moves gather power, they compound, they multiply, and before you know it, the life that once felt distant begins walking toward you. Discipline is faith in action. It is the courage to show up before the blessing appears. It is the belief that your effort is never wasted. It is the profound knowing that every seed planted in discipline will harvest in abundance. Excuses shrink your world. Discipline expands it. Excuses drain your power. Discipline magnifies it. Excuses keep you wishing. Discipline keeps you winning. Today, choose the path that money loves. Choose the habits that wealth recognizes. Choose the actions that align with the abundance you deserve. Choose discipline and watch how quickly money begins to choose you. Money responds to the vibration of discipline, not the chaos of excuses. Money is far more than a physical object. It is a frequency, a pulse, a spiritual current that aligns itself only with clarity, intention, and order. It is an invisible visitor that senses the atmosphere of your life long before it enters it, and it can immediately tell whether your inner world is a place where it can settle, grow, and multiply, or a place it must pass through without staying. Money listens, money watches. Money observes your patterns, your moments of choice, your habits when no one is looking, and it moves according to the energetic language you speak through your actions. You cannot hide your vibration from money. You cannot mask disorder with words or cover procrastination with wishful thinking. Money responds only to the truth of your discipline or the truth of your excuses. When your life is structured, when your days carry intention, when you create routines that honor your goals, you broadcast a message to money that you are prepared to receive and manage it. Discipline becomes your signal of readiness, your silent declaration that you will not waste, ignore, or mishandle the blessings coming your way. Money feels this readiness the way a seed feels fertile soil. Just as plants grow where conditions support them, money grows where discipline nurtures it. Nothing in nature thrives in disorder, and money is no different. It requires space, calm, focus, and direction. Excuses, however, create the opposite environment. They add noise, confusion, and delay. They scatter your energy, weaken your confidence, and break the inner alignment required for abundance. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," the universe hears hesitation. Every time you say, "I don't have time," you send out a frequency of disorganization. Every time you say, "I can't," "It's too hard," or "I'm too tired," you lower your vibration into the realm where money cannot find a stable home. Excuses tell money that the foundation is not yet strong, that the vessel is not yet ready to hold the blessing. Yet discipline speaks the opposite message. Discipline says, "I am committed." It says, "I am trustworthy." It says, "I am willing to do what others only talk about." It says, "I choose progress over comfort." Money responds to those who choose progress, because progress is the natural path of abundance. Money is movement, and discipline keeps you aligned with that movement. Excuses keep you stuck, but discipline keeps you flowing. To understand why money loves discipline, you must understand the spiritual laws that govern abundance. Order invites increase, while disorder invites loss. Look at your environment. Where there is clutter, energy is trapped. Where there is cleanliness and structure, energy flows freely. Money behaves the same way. It gravitates toward those who manage their time, their thoughts, their habits, and their commitments with care. It recognizes the individuals who work on their goals consistently, who invest in their growth, who make decisions based on vision rather than emotion. Money is not attracted to chaos because chaos is unpredictable. Money fears the person who is easily swayed by moods, distractions, impulses, or doubts. It cannot settle where decisions change with every inconvenience or emotion. It cannot rest where fear is stronger than faith. It cannot remain where excuses dominate action, but when you anchor yourself in discipline, you become a lighthouse of stability, and money is drawn to that light. Discipline is not harshness, it is harmony. It is the alignment of your habits with your desires. It is the bridge between wanting and receiving. People say they want wealth, but wanting alone does nothing. Wanting without discipline becomes a dream that evaporates each morning. But when you pair desire with disciplined action, you ignite the laws of manifestation and invite money to participate in your life. Money also loves discipline because discipline shows respect. When you discipline yourself to show up, to budget, to save, to plan, to learn, to improve, to stay consistent, you demonstrate that you respect both yourself and the abundance you seek. You prove that you are not careless with your energy or your opportunities. Money takes this respect as a sign of maturity, and it rewards it accordingly. Excuses, however, reveal disrespect, not intentional disrespect, but subconscious disrespect for your potential, your purpose, and your promised future. Excuses show money that you are not yet willing to rise into your power. They reveal hesitation, fear, and self-doubt, all of which send money away. Money does not stay where it is not honored. It does not settle where it is not valued. It does not multiply where the individual has not demonstrated the discipline to handle the multiplied result. Discipline is also deeply connected to identity. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen the version of yourself that attracts abundance. Every time you choose excuses, you strengthen the version of yourself that repels it. Discipline shapes character. It builds the muscles of consistency, resilience, and determination. These qualities form a magnetic field that pulls success, opportunity, and wealth into your life. People think that wealth is random or based purely on luck, but wealth is often the outcome of the internal structure a person builds long before the outward results appear. When you live in discipline, even the universe takes notice. Doors open more easily, people trust you more quickly, opportunities gravitate toward you, synchronicities unfold. You begin to see evidence that your inner order is transforming your outer world. The more disciplined you become, the more aligned your energy becomes with abundance, and the faster money responds. Money recognizes commitment, it recognizes sacrifice, it recognizes patience, it recognizes self-control. It recognizes the one who says, "I will not wait for circumstances to change. I will change myself." Money honors the individual who does not rely on excuses, because excuses create stagnation, and stagnation is the enemy of prosperity. Money loves motion, growth, purpose, and clarity, all of which discipline provides. In the end, money is not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts money. Discipline shapes that person. Excuses sabotage that person. Money sees both clearly. Money knows exactly where it belongs. Money listens to the voice of your habits, not the promises of your intentions. It follows the energy you live with daily, not the dreams you whisper occasionally. When your habits speak discipline, money comes. When your habits speak excuses, it stays away. You choose which message you send. You choose which vibration you embody. You choose whether money will love being in your life or whether it will keep its distance. Excuses are the chains that bind a person to scarcity. They appear soft, harmless, almost comforting, but they are some of the most dangerous forces in a person's financial life. Excuses disguise themselves as protection, as understanding, as compassion for your own struggles, but in reality, they are the quiet architects of limitation. They speak in gentle tones, but they build walls that keep you from stepping into the abundance that was meant for you. Every excuse becomes a brick, and every repeated excuse becomes mortar. Over time, without realizing it, a person constructs a cage made entirely of their own reasoning, a perfectly logical prison built out of perfectly believable justifications. Excuses feel true because they are rooted in emotion. They feed on fatigue, fear, doubt, insecurity, impatience, and uncertainty. They give you temporary relief from discomfort by telling you that it's okay to delay your responsibility, your growth, or your commitment. When you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," it feels gentle. When you say, "I wasn't feeling it today," it feels honest. When you say it's not the right time, it feels wise. But underneath those gentle feelings is a powerful sedative that quietly puts your dreams to sleep. Scarcity begins in the mind long before it shows up in the wallet. It begins in the tiny concessions you make to your emotions and the small promises you break to yourself. Each excuse is a vote for the version of you that stays stuck. Each excuse reinforces the identity of someone who cannot, who won't, who shouldn't, or who isn't ready. Eventually, excuses don't just delay action, they shape belief. They whisper, "You're not capable. This isn't for you. Success is for others, not for you." And once belief is poisoned, your future begins to shrink. Excuses create scarcity by interrupting your momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the journey to wealth. When you begin something, a habit, a plan, a business, a discipline, the hardest part is the beginning. Once you're moving, once you're consistent, each day becomes easier, but excuses break the flow. They force you to start over again and again from zero. Without momentum, even small goals feel heavy. Without momentum, every effort feels like lifting a boulder from the ground. The energy that should be compounding is constantly being halted and reset. People often underestimate the cost of an excuse. They think it's just one day, one missed task, one skipped step, but excuses multiply. They rarely come alone. One excuse opens the door for another and another and another. Soon, a single moment of weakness becomes a pattern, and a pattern becomes a lifestyle. That lifestyle is scarcity, not just financial scarcity, but emotional, spiritual, and personal scarcity. A life where nothing grows because nothing is allowed to continue long enough to bear fruit. Excuses also block abundance because they trap you in the past and the present, never allowing you to live in the possibility of your future. They bind your mind to what you've been rather than what you can become. They make you replay old failures, old disappointments, old fears, using them as evidence that you should not try again. Excuses always use history to predict destiny. They tell you, you've failed before, so why bother? You've struggled before, so stop trying. You've been rejected before, so don't attempt anything new. But scarcity thrives on this. Scarcity survives by convincing you that growth is dangerous and comfort is safe. It convinces you to stay where you are, even if where you are is limiting your potential. Excuses are the voice of scarcity, and scarcity loves nothing more than a human being who listens to it. Excuses also limit your exposure to opportunity. Money flows through opportunity: a job, a client, an idea, a connection, a skill, a habit, a business. But opportunity only appears to those who are moving. Motion attracts opportunity like light attracts moths. When you're taking action, you meet people. When you're disciplined, you notice possibilities. When you're consistent, doors open, but excuses remove you from the path. They keep you still, stagnant, hidden from opportunities' reach. You cannot attract new opportunities when you remain in the shadows of hesitation. Excuses also damage your self-trust. Self-trust is one of the most valuable currencies a person can possess. When you trust yourself, you move boldly. You pursue ideas, you take risks, you keep promises. You respect your time and your vision. But every time you make an excuse, you break a small promise to yourself, and broken promises accumulate. After enough of them, your confidence begins to erode. You stop believing yourself when you set a goal. You stop trusting your word. You begin to see yourself as unreliable, and a person who does not trust themselves cannot consistently create wealth, because wealth requires confident decisions, firm boundaries, and faith in one's abilities. Excuses also poison your energy. Your vibration, your emotional and spiritual frequency, is what attracts your financial experiences. A person who lives in excuses radiates hesitation, disorder, and lack. They don't do this intentionally, but energetically they broadcast uncertainty. Money, opportunities, and success do not connect with uncertainty. They connect with clarity. They connect with people who are decisive, intentional, and disciplined. Excuses lower your frequency, making you invisible to the blessings meant for you. Another hidden danger of excuses is that they create a false sense of comfort. They allow you to avoid short-term discomfort while sacrificing long-term reward. Excuses are soothing in the moment, but costly in the future. They relieve you now, but rob you later. They protect you from temporary effort, but expose you to lifelong regret. Nothing feels heavier than the weight of a life where potential was never realized because excuses felt easier than discipline. And yet, excuses feel so convincing because they mirror your fears. They reflect the parts of you that are scared to fail or scared to succeed. They reflect the parts of you that fear being seen, judged, or disappointed. They reflect your insecurities and uncertainties, but fear is not meant to guide you. Fear is meant to be acknowledged and then overcome. When fear becomes your advisor, excuses become your language and scarcity becomes your reality. Excuses bind you to scarcity because they keep you from stepping into the highest version of yourself. They keep you small when you were meant to expand. They keep you repeating old patterns when you were meant to evolve. They keep you living at the level of your comfort instead of the level of your calling. Scarcity is not a financial condition. It is a psychological condition. It begins with excuses, grows with excuses, and sustains itself through excuses. And the moment you stop feeding those excuses, scarcity begins to starve. Discipline is not punishment. It is the silent architect of financial freedom. Many misunderstand discipline. They see it as a chain, a limitation, a restriction imposed by circumstance or authority. They imagine it as a daily grind, a life of denial, a relentless struggle where pleasure is postponed indefinitely. And so they resist it, rebel against it, or fear it. But in truth, discipline is the opposite of punishment. Discipline is a blessing, a sacred structure, a form of love directed toward your highest self. It is the invisible framework that allows dreams to take shape, that turns scattered intentions into solid results, and that transforms potential into reality. Discipline is not the enemy of joy, it is the vehicle of joy. Without discipline, abundance cannot flow, because chaos cannot hold it. Discipline organizes the energy of your day, your mind, and your spirit in a way that makes space for prosperity to enter and multiply. To understand discipline as an architect of freedom, one must see it as a choice rather than a command. It is a choice to show up, even when no one is watching. It is a choice to honor your commitments, even when the world offers easier alternatives. It is a choice to invest in your future self rather than indulge your temporary comfort. Discipline is voluntary alignment with the highest version of yourself. It is a declaration that you value what you can become more than what you feel like in the moment. And that declaration reverberates through the universe. It signals readiness, stability, and trustworthiness. Money, opportunity, and success are drawn to such signals. They cannot resist the presence of someone who has proven, through consistent choices, that they are capable of stewarding abundance. Discipline is a form of self-respect. When you discipline yourself to show up on time, to prioritize your tasks, to focus on learning, and to manage your resources wisely, you are affirming to yourself and the universe that your life is valuable, your purpose is worthy, and your goals are non-negotiable. Every act of discipline communicates that you are not a passive observer of your destiny, but an active creator. In this sense, discipline is not punishment because it is not imposed from outside. It is self-imposed power. It is the careful shaping of your own life rather than the surrendering of it to chaos, laziness, or chance. Discipline frees you from the randomness of circumstance and the tyranny of temptation, allowing you to move with intention toward the life you desire. Many avoid discipline because it requires effort, patience, and sometimes discomfort. But discomfort is a temporary visitor. It does not define your life. Resistance to discipline is often fear in disguise. Fear of failure, fear of change, fear of the unknown. Discipline, however, transforms fear into opportunity. It channels energy that would otherwise be wasted into productive, life-affirming action. It creates momentum. It builds identity, and identity is the gateway to financial freedom. When you consistently act with discipline, you stop thinking of yourself as someone who hopes for wealth and start thinking of yourself as someone who earns, manages, and multiplies it. Discipline is the invisible hand that guides your financial life. Without it, money may enter your life briefly, but it will never stay. Without it, opportunities may appear, but they will slip through your fingers. Without it, knowledge may accumulate, but it will never manifest as results. Discipline translates intention into action, action into habit, habit into character, and character into wealth. Each layer builds upon the previous, like a master architect constructing a temple of abundance. Excuses are like termites. They eat away at the foundation, weaken the walls, and eventually collapse the structure you are trying to build. Discipline is the solid beams and pillars that hold the temple together, standing strong through storms, distractions, and challenges. True discipline is not rigid or joyless. It is flexible, intelligent, and creative. It is the understanding that freedom is born within structure. It is the mastery of your impulses so that your energy can flow uninterrupted toward meaningful goals. Discipline allows for planning, foresight, and foresight allows for prosperity. Without discipline, life becomes reactive, driven by whims and immediate gratifications, which never produce lasting results. With discipline, life becomes proactive, deliberate, and aligned with vision, which always produces lasting wealth. Discipline also magnifies your natural talents. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. Creativity without discipline is chaotic. Ideas without discipline remain dreams. Discipline channels your gifts into tangible forms, turning your abilities into income, your insights into opportunities, and your energy into results. The consistent practice of disciplined action is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It is what separates those who wish for wealth from those who command it. Financial freedom, then, is the reward of disciplined living. It is not simply a result of chance, inheritance, or luck. It is the natural consequence of repeated, intentional choices. Each day you honor your responsibilities, manage your resources, and align your actions with your goals. You are laying another brick in the foundation of your financial freedom. Excuses, by contrast, steal your energy, fragment your attention, and scatter your efforts. They keep you trapped in cycles of delay, frustration, and unfulfilled potential. Discipline liberates, excuses enslave. Discipline multiplies, excuses diminish. Discipline builds confidence, and confidence is magnetic. When you are disciplined, you trust yourself to follow through, to keep commitments, and to navigate challenges. This self-trust spills outward, attracting mentors, allies, opportunities, and investments. The universe responds to someone who demonstrates reliability and focus. Those who rely on excuses, however, broadcast instability and indecision. They attract chaos, setbacks, and scarcity. Money prefers the disciplined steward over the indecisive dreamer every time. In essence, discipline is not a punishment inflicted to keep you in line. It is the silent architect constructing a life in which freedom, abundance, and success can thrive. It is the invisible force that transforms intention into reality, chaos into order, and potential into achievement. Each act of self-discipline is a brick in the temple of your financial freedom. Each moment of persistence a beam supporting your destiny. To embrace discipline is to embrace prosperity, to honor your future self, and to declare to the universe that you are ready for all the abundance that is your rightful inheritance. Every step taken in disciplined action draws you closer to your goals. Every day you show up for yourself, even when it is uncomfortable. You cement your identity as someone who succeeds. Discipline is the quiet hero behind every financial victory, the unseen hand guiding your efforts toward results, and the unwavering ally that ensures the law of abundance operates in your favor. Those who understand this principle stop viewing discipline as a burden and begin to embrace it as their most powerful tool, their greatest investment, and the ultimate path to freedom. Money seeks a worthy steward, someone who manages, respects, and multiplies it. Money is not simply a neutral force. It is intelligent, perceptive, and responsive. It flows not just to desire, but to preparedness. It does not simply land in the laps of those who wish for it. It gravitates toward those who demonstrate care, attention, and wisdom. Just as a river follows the path of least resistance, finding channels that are clear, stable, and ready to guide it, money follows the hand that is capable, disciplined, and conscious of its power. A worthy steward is someone who understands that money is not a mere reward, but a responsibility, a tool, and a partner in the creation of life. Those who handle it carelessly, impulsively, or recklessly will see it slip through their fingers, no matter how great their ambition or how fervent their desires. To become a worthy steward, one must first cultivate respect. Respect for the resources at hand, respect for the principles of growth, respect for the future, and respect for oneself. Money is attracted to reverence because it is aligned with law, universal law. It responds to the mindset of abundance that treats each dollar, each investment, and each opportunity as sacred. Conversely, it avoids carelessness. It flees from recklessness, from indulgence without planning, from impatience without foresight. A person who spends blindly, who accumulates debt without strategy, or who hoards without purpose is signaling that they are not prepared to multiply or honor the energy of wealth, and money responds by leaving. A worthy steward is also someone who manages. Management is not just about budgeting, it is about conscious allocation of resources. It is about understanding where money should be placed to produce growth and where it should be restrained to prevent loss. It is about discipline in spending, saving, and investing. Management requires foresight, patience, and attention to detail. It requires learning from experience and applying principles that ensure continuity, growth, and stability. Money responds to such precision. It flows where it knows it will not be wasted and where it will be allowed to compound. To manage money without excuses is to signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Multiplication is another defining characteristic of a worthy steward. Money loves to grow, and it seeks partners who will allow it to do so. Those who simply spend without thought, who consume without investment, or who hoard without productivity fail to become worthy vessels. To multiply money is to engage it in the world in ways that create more value, whether through investments, business ventures, skill development, or opportunities that generate both personal and communal gain. Money recognizes those who are builders, creators, and innovators. It responds to initiative and action, expanding where effort is intentional, focused, and disciplined. Being a worthy steward also requires emotional maturity. Impulsivity, greed, fear, and panic are all repellents to abundance. Someone who reacts emotionally to market changes, financial shifts, or temporary setbacks demonstrates instability. Money cannot settle in chaos. It seeks calm, reason, and foresight. A worthy steward maintains equilibrium even when circumstances are challenging. They think strategically, plan prudently, and act decisively. They understand that wealth is not merely earned, but preserved, multiplied, and directed toward meaningful ends. This combination of wisdom, foresight, and calmness creates the conditions in which money feels safe and motivated to stay. Integrity is inseparable from stewardship. Money is sensitive to truth. It responds to honesty, transparency, and ethical action. Those who manipulate, deceive, or cut corners may gain momentary wealth, but it will never stay because the vibrational signal is inconsistent. Money aligns with integrity because integrity signals reliability and sustainability. A person who consistently honors agreements, meets obligations, and operates with clarity attracts money naturally. It trusts that the steward will handle the flow responsibly, reinvesting and growing it rather than squandering it or misaligning it with destructive habits. Stewardship is not passive, it is active. It is not enough to simply hold money or accumulate it. One must engage with it thoughtfully, strategically, and creatively. A worthy steward seeks knowledge, learning about investments, markets, opportunities, and systems that amplify growth. They experiment intelligently, take calculated risks, and adapt to changing circumstances. They do not wait for money to magically appear. They create the conditions for it to enter and remain. They align their actions with the energy of growth, demonstrating that they are capable of handling abundance responsibly and multiplying it wisely. A worthy steward also understands the spiritual dimension of money. Money is energy, a form of life force, and it responds to intention. Those who treat money as sacred, as a tool to serve a greater purpose, or as a resource to create value for others, align themselves with the universal laws of prosperity. Their relationship with money is not rooted in fear, lack, or competition, but in trust, faith, and service. They understand that wealth is a reflection of their inner order, habits, and mindset. They respect money not merely as currency, but as a manifestation of universal energy responding to discipline, wisdom, and intention. Moreover, worthy stewardship is a lifelong practice. It is not a momentary effort, but a continuous commitment to growth, learning, and alignment. Money responds to consistency. It multiplies in the hands of those who demonstrate sustained responsibility. Sporadic effort, occasional wisdom, or fleeting discipline is not enough. Wealth, like a living organism, thrives where attention, care, and intentional action are applied day after day, month after month, year after year. The worthy steward is patient, knowing that true wealth compounds slowly, steadily, and inexorably through disciplined stewardship. Finally, the worthy steward becomes magnetic. The energy of someone who respects, manages, and multiplies money radiates confidence, reliability, and trustworthiness. Others notice this energy, opportunities appear, and networks form that further enhance financial potential. The steward's discipline and integrity create a feedback loop, attracting not only money but also knowledge, partnerships, and experiences that support continued growth. The universe recognizes preparedness and responds by sending resources into alignment with those who are ready, capable, and disciplined. To be a worthy steward is to transform your relationship with money from one of scarcity, anxiety, or dependency into one of mastery, trust, and creation. Money seeks those who honor it. Money responds to those who manage it carefully. Money multiplies in the hands of those who act with wisdom, foresight, and intention. A worthy steward does not wait passively for opportunity, but actively engages in the dance of abundance, proving through consistent action and character that they are ready for the prosperity that desires to enter their life. Wealth flows where stewardship is demonstrated. Abundance arrives where respect, management, and multiplication are evident. Money always finds the hands that are worthy to receive it. Your mindset toward money becomes your financial reality. Everything you experience with money begins in the unseen realm of thought and belief. The mind is the fertile soil where the seeds of abundance or scarcity are planted. What you believe about money, consciously or unconsciously, dictates the results you attract, the opportunities you notice, and the actions you take. A mind filled with confidence, discipline, and prosperity, consciousness, creates a magnetic field that draws financial resources effortlessly. A mind filled with doubt, fear, or excuses repels wealth as naturally as a storm disperses calm waters. The reality of your bank account, the flow of opportunities, and the stability of your financial life are reflections of the mental environment you cultivate daily. Your thoughts are not separate from your financial life. They are the blueprint from which it is constructed. When you hold a mindset of abundance, your perception of money shifts from one of scarcity to one of opportunity. You begin to see potential where others see obstacles. You notice investments others overlook. You find solutions where others see problems. You recognize patterns of growth that are invisible to those mired in fear or doubt. Abundance-minded individuals trust in their capacity to create, attract, and manage wealth. They approach financial decisions with clarity and foresight, knowing that each choice contributes to a larger picture of prosperity. Their thoughts, decisions, and actions become harmonious with the natural laws of abundance, and the universe responds by bringing them the resources and opportunities they are prepared to handle. Conversely, a scarcity mindset traps you in limitation. When your thoughts are dominated by fear, doubt, or self-imposed restrictions, you inadvertently create a reality that mirrors those beliefs. You may believe money is hard to come by, that opportunities are rare, or that wealth is only for others. These beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies, shaping your actions, your reactions, and your expectations. Scarcity-minded individuals may ignore opportunities because they feel unworthy or incapable. They may hesitate when decisive action is required. They may sabotage their own success through procrastination, indecision, or attachment to comfort. In this way, scarcity in thought generates scarcity in reality. Your internal dialogue with money is even more powerful than external circumstances. The words you speak, the stories you tell yourself, and the assumptions you hold about wealth all serve as magnets, pulling toward you the reality you most frequently inhabit in your mind. Positive, disciplined, and faith-filled thinking creates a gravitational pull that attracts resources, guidance, and alliances aligned with abundance. Negative, doubtful, or excuse-ridden thinking creates an invisible barrier that repels the very opportunities you claim to desire. The universe is impartial. It responds to energy, not wishful thinking. Your mindset is the energy that sets the stage for the financial experiences you manifest. Every financial action you take is colored by your beliefs. When you think abundantly, you act confidently. You invest with wisdom, negotiate with clarity, and manage resources with care. You are proactive rather than reactive, seeking ways to multiply what you have rather than lamenting what you lack. You look for solutions, explore creative pathways, and remain resilient in the face of setbacks. Each decision, small or large, aligns with the energy of growth and prosperity, reinforcing a cycle in which mindset and reality continually support one another. In contrast, a limiting mindset manifests hesitation and indecision. Doubt clouds judgment, fear prevents calculated risk, and procrastination stalls progress. When you are not ready or not capable, your actions reflect that belief, and opportunity slips away unnoticed. Your internal restrictions become external obstacles. Each missed chance reinforces the story you tell yourself about scarcity, creating a self-perpetuating loop in which thought becomes reality, and reality reinforces thought. The mind also shapes your expectations. When you consistently expect wealth, opportunity, and success, you are mentally preparing yourself to recognize, receive, and act upon them. This is not mere optimism, it is the conscious alignment of thought and action with abundance. Conversely, expecting lack conditions you to miss opportunities, resist guidance, and overlook potential gains. Expectations act like lenses through which you perceive the world. Clear, abundance-based lenses reveal possibilities. Scarcity-based lenses distort and hide them. Mindset is also intimately tied to emotion. When you cultivate positive, disciplined thoughts about money, your emotional state shifts from fear to confidence, from anxiety to anticipation, from scarcity to trust. These emotional states generate momentum. Confidence produces action. Trust fosters patience. Anticipation encourages preparation. When your emotional energy aligns with your financial goals, you are acting as a magnet, drawing in experiences that mirror the vibration you are holding. A scarcity or fear-based mindset produces stagnation, hesitation, and resistance, which repel the very results you hope for. Another critical element is visualization and mental rehearsal. Seeing yourself as already financially successful, disciplined, and capable creates a neural map in your brain that guides your actions. This mental blueprint instructs your subconscious to make choices in alignment with abundance. Every action taken after such visualization becomes purposeful rather than random. The mind, in effect, becomes a magnet for the life it imagines and rehearses. Excuses, procrastination, and limiting beliefs distort that blueprint, sending you in directions that delay or diminish your potential. Your mindset also affects how you perceive challenges. Wealth creation is rarely linear. Opportunities are often accompanied by obstacles. Those with a disciplined, abundance-focused mindset interpret challenges as invitations to grow, to adapt, and to expand their capabilities. Scarcity-minded individuals interpret the same challenges as threats, reasons to quit, or proof that success is unattainable. Your mental framing dictates not only your approach, but also the outcomes you generate. The same situation can produce entirely different results depending on the mindset you bring to it. Consistency of thought is equally important. One day of positive thinking does not create wealth, just as one day of negative thinking does not produce permanent scarcity. Wealth is attracted to sustained alignment, a steady, consistent mindset that integrates discipline, faith, creativity, and clarity. Each day builds upon the last, and the cumulative effect of repeated positive, disciplined mental habits eventually manifests in visible financial outcomes. Thoughts become habits, habits become character, and character becomes wealth. In the final analysis, your relationship with money begins and ends in the mind. Financial reality is the reflection of your inner landscape. To attract money, you must first align your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions with abundance. Excuses, doubts, fears, and scarcity thinking must be eliminated because they create the energetic conditions that repel wealth. Discipline, clarity, faith, and confidence must be cultivated because they establish the conditions that attract wealth. Money is not blind. It responds to the vibrations you emit. What you cultivate in your mind, you will manifest in your world. Wealth is, therefore, not only a result of action, but a mirror of mindset. Small daily disciplines become massive financial transformations. Many people underestimate the power of consistent, tiny actions, believing that wealth and success are born from grand gestures, monumental decisions, or sudden strokes of luck. They think that one breakthrough idea, one lucky opportunity, or one large investment is the key to abundance. Yet the universe operates in compounding cycles, in incremental growth, and in steady, disciplined effort. True financial transformation is rarely sudden. It is cumulative. Each small, intentional action, repeated day after day, builds upon itself, creating momentum that eventually produces extraordinary results. A single choice may seem insignificant in isolation, but when repeated consistently, it forms a foundation that can support vast and lasting prosperity. Consider the simple act of saving a small portion of income every day or every week. A single contribution may feel negligible. It may even tempt you to think it does not matter, but over time, that discipline compounds. Interest, growth, and reinvestment magnify the effect of your consistency. What seemed small becomes substantial. What seemed inconsequential transforms into a force that propels your life forward. The same principle applies to learning. Dedicating even 15 or 30 minutes a day to understanding financial systems, investments, or business strategy gradually elevates your knowledge and skill. Each day of learning builds upon the previous day, creating expertise that can translate into increased income, smarter decisions, and greater opportunities. The small disciplines that compound into financial transformation are not only practical but also deeply psychological. They train your mind, body, and spirit to operate at a higher level of consistency. Each act of discipline reinforces a self-image of capability, reliability, and competence. When you repeatedly show up for your commitments, whether in budgeting, investing, networking, or learning, you are training yourself to embody the identity of someone who commands success. This identity then aligns your thoughts, decisions, and actions with the reality of abundance, making the transformation inevitable. Conversely, neglecting small disciplines, tolerating excuses, or seeking shortcuts undermines this identity, keeping you tethered to cycles of limitation, delay, and scarcity. Small daily disciplines also teach resilience. Wealth creation is never perfectly linear. Challenges, setbacks, and obstacles are inevitable. When you are consistent in small actions, you develop the resilience to endure, adapt, and continue moving forward even when external circumstances are unfavorable. Each repetition builds confidence and patience. You learn that small, persistent steps, though seemingly minor, are unstoppable forces when compounded over time. In this way, discipline becomes a form of self-empowerment. It shows you that progress is not dependent on perfect conditions, but on consistent alignment with your vision and purpose. Another aspect of small disciplines is their ability to generate cumulative momentum. Momentum is the force that transforms effort into results. The more consistently you act, the faster and stronger the results become. For instance, consistently creating content, networking, or pursuing new opportunities develops a rhythm that attracts attention, builds trust, and produces outcomes that would have been impossible in a single, isolated effort. Just as water gradually erodes stone, repeated actions, no matter how small, can achieve monumental results over time. Momentum creates visibility, influence, and opportunity, all of which are critical in attracting financial abundance. Small daily disciplines also cultivate a habit of control and mastery. Money, opportunity, and success favor those who demonstrate self-control. Small acts like tracking expenses, resisting impulse purchases, completing planned tasks, and dedicating time to skill building show the universe that you can handle responsibility. These minor acts of mastery prove that you are worthy of greater resources. The universe responds to those who demonstrate readiness, and readiness is rarely declared in grand gestures. It is quietly established in daily routines. Through this, small disciplines serve as a constant proof of your reliability and competence, signaling to the universe that you are prepared to receive more. Furthermore, small disciplines build confidence in decision making. Each time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how minor, you reinforce your belief in your own abilities. Confidence is magnetic. When others witness your reliability, consistency, and follow through, they are more likely to trust you, support you, and invest in you. Opportunities multiply because people see in you someone who can steward resources wisely. This external manifestation of internal discipline is a key pathway to financial transformation. Wealth, after all, often comes not just from what you know, but from how others perceive your reliability, integrity, and competence. Small disciplines are also compounding in their spiritual and emotional impact. They align your thoughts and emotions with prosperity. When you act daily with intention, focus, and purpose, you create an internal environment of control, clarity, and optimism. You begin to feel capable, empowered, and aligned with your highest self. This alignment is attractive. The universe mirrors the energy you radiate. Abundance follows those whose actions reflect order, consistency, and intentionality. Small acts of discipline, though invisible to others, broadcast a powerful signal to the universe that you are serious, capable, and prepared to receive greater resources. Financial transformations, therefore, are rarely the result of sudden miracles, but of persistent, intelligent, and consistent daily choices. Each small effort, whether in saving, learning, investing, producing, networking, or managing compounds, grows and multiplies into results that feel monumental. The magic lies not in one act, but in repetition over time. Just as a river carves valleys through mountains by persistent flow, small daily disciplines carve pathways to financial freedom and abundance. What feels minor today can become extraordinary tomorrow. What feels inconsequential this week can become the foundation of an empire a year from now. Finally, the greatest power of small daily disciplines lies in their ability to shift identity. When you act consistently, you stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes for abundance and start seeing yourself as someone who creates, attracts, and manages it. This shift in identity transforms every thought, decision, and action. Excuses lose their power because your daily routines now define you more strongly than your doubts. Small disciplines become the engine of transformation, and each repetition reinforces the certainty that you are capable of financial mastery. Over time, this creates an unstoppable force that attracts resources, opportunities, and results far beyond what could be achieved through random effort, wishful thinking, or sporadic action. In essence, small daily disciplines are not small at all. They are the building blocks of monumental financial transformations, the invisible hands guiding your life toward abundance, and the quiet yet powerful force that transforms dreams into reality. When you honor these small actions consistently, intentionally, and with faith, you create a chain reaction that reshapes your entire financial landscape, turning modest efforts into extraordinary wealth and habitual consistency into unstoppable prosperity. Opportunity is attracted to those who act decisively, consistently, and without excuses. It is not enough to merely recognize a chance when it appears. One must respond, commit, and act with clarity and confidence. Opportunity is like a delicate flame that requires readiness to ignite. Hesitation, doubt, and procrastination smother it before it has a chance to grow. Many people fail not because opportunities do not exist, but because they are unprepared, distracted, or unwilling to act decisively. The universe, like a mirror, reflects the readiness of the individual. When you move with courage, discipline, and clarity, doors open where none seem to exist, Connections appear where none were anticipated, and resources flow toward those who demonstrate a willingness to receive them and transform them into value. Acting decisively requires trust in yourself. You must believe in your capacity to navigate uncertainty, to make the right choice in the moment, and to adjust course when necessary. Self-trust is magnetic because it communicates confidence to the universe and to the people around you. Those who hesitate, who question every step, or who allow fear to dictate their actions repel opportunity because they signal indecision and unreliability. Opportunity gravitates to those who can handle it, who can move with speed and precision, and who can turn potential into results. Hesitation is the silent killer of wealth. Every moment delayed is an opportunity lost, and every excuse whispered is a door quietly closed. Consistency is equally critical in attracting opportunity. One decisive action, no matter how brilliant, will not sustain success if it is not followed by disciplined repetition. Consistency builds trust, momentum, and credibility. It communicates reliability to clients, partners, and collaborators. It signals to the universe that you are serious, prepared, and capable. Consistent action compounds over time, generating results far beyond the sum of individual efforts. While luck may play a role in a single moment, it is consistency that multiplies opportunity, transforming a single spark into a roaring flame. Those who act sporadically or inconsistently rarely capture the full potential of the chances that present themselves. Acting decisively also requires clarity of vision. You must know what you want, why you want it, and how it aligns with your larger purpose. Clarity cuts through doubt and confusion, allowing you to identify the opportunities that truly serve your growth. Without clarity, you may act impulsively on distractions or settle for less than you deserve. Opportunity requires discernment. It will not remain with someone who lacks the wisdom to recognize its value. Those who cultivate a clear vision are like magnets, drawing resources, mentors, and situations that accelerate their progress. The clarity of intention becomes the compass that guides action, ensuring that each step moves you closer to abundance rather than away from it. Moreover, acting decisively strengthens your courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward in spite of it. Every decisive action reinforces confidence, resilience, and faith in your own abilities. Fear, hesitation, and doubt diminish with each step taken, creating a positive feedback loop in which action breeds confidence, and confidence attracts further opportunity. Those who allow fear to dominate remain stagnant, missing the very chances that could transform their lives. Opportunity respects courage. It responds to those who are willing to take bold, intelligent action even when the outcome is uncertain. Preparation is inseparable from decisive action. One cannot act effectively without readiness. Preparation is the combination of knowledge, skill, discipline, and foresight that allows you to seize opportunity fully when it appears. Opportunity rarely waits. It arrives and departs with the swiftness of the tide. Those who have prepared in advance through learning, networking, saving, and cultivating skill can act with precision and confidence. Those who have not prepared are often paralyzed or reactive, unable to capitalize on the moment. Preparation and decisiveness are two sides of the same coin. One creates readiness, the other converts readiness into results. Acting decisively also requires letting go of excuses. Excuses are the chains that prevent movement, the barriers that block opportunity, and the stories that keep you small. Every excuse whispered to yourself or spoken aloud diminishes your ability to respond effectively to life's chances. Money, opportunity, and success do not tolerate indecision. They move to those who demonstrate clarity, action, and responsibility. To act decisively is to step beyond fear, to claim your right to abundance, and to demonstrate that you are ready to transform opportunity into tangible outcomes. Opportunity also responds to momentum. Action creates movement, and movement generates visibility, connections, and influence. Each step taken, each task completed, and each decision executed sends ripples through your life and the lives of those around you. These ripples attract further chances, collaborators, and openings. Momentum is cumulative. The more consistently you act, the more opportunities appear, and the faster you can achieve results. Stagnation, hesitation, and excuses break momentum and prevent opportunity from revealing itself fully. Acting decisively ensures that you remain in motion, creating conditions for continued growth and abundance. Acting decisively also communicates integrity. Integrity is a magnet for opportunity because it demonstrates reliability. When people, partners, or institutions see someone who consistently acts with clarity, honesty, and follow through, they are more likely to entrust resources, collaborations, and projects to that person. Opportunity often arrives in the form of trust, and trust is earned through consistent, decisive action. Indecision, excuses, or inconsistency erode trust and prevent the universe from delivering the full potential of prosperity. Those who act decisively become worthy recipients of abundance, because they demonstrate that they can handle it responsibly and multiply it effectively. Finally, decisive action aligns with the universal law of cause and effect. Every action, no matter how small, produces a result. Hesitation delays results, excuses prevent them. Acting decisively ensures that the energy you put forth produces tangible outcomes. It transforms intention into reality. It demonstrates commitment to your own goals and sends a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready for more. Those who act decisively, consistently, and with clarity become magnets for opportunity, wealth, and success because they embody the principle that energy must move to manifest. Stagnation and excuses break this law. Decisiveness enforces it, generating results that are aligned with vision, preparation, and faith. In essence, opportunity does not seek the hesitant, the doubtful, or the excuse maker. It gravitates to the decisive, the prepared, the consistent, and the courageous. Those who act decisively create the momentum, credibility, and visibility that draw abundance. They step into alignment with universal law, transforming potential into tangible results. Every decision made with clarity, courage, and discipline compounds, creating a life rich with opportunity, wealth, and success. To act decisively is to honor your potential, claim your place in the flow of abundance, and demonstrate readiness for the prosperity that desires to enter your life. Focus is the compass that directs all financial energy toward growth. Without focus, even the most brilliant ideas, the most disciplined habits, and the greatest opportunities are diluted, scattered, or lost entirely. Focus allows intention to crystallize, action to concentrate, and energy to flow unbroken toward a chosen goal. It is the lens through which you see opportunity, the engine through which you turn knowledge into results, and the invisible magnet that aligns your efforts with abundance. Without focus, the distractions of life, the temptations, the doubts, the noise of other people's opinions pull you in multiple directions, leaving your goals fragmented and your energy exhausted. Focus is the bridge between desire and attainment, and every step across that bridge requires deliberate, unwavering attention. Discipline alone cannot substitute for focus. You may have habits in place, routines that support your growth, and consistent action, but if these are scattered across too many directions, they become a series of small, ineffective efforts rather than a concentrated force. Focus channels all energy into the highest priority actions, the decisions that produce the most significant results, and the strategies that multiply wealth over time. It transforms busyness into productivity, intention into accomplishment, and desire into manifestation. Focus is not a restriction. It is liberation, because it ensures that your limited time, energy, and resources are invested where they yield the greatest return. Focus also protects against the subtle thief of excuses. Excuses often creep in when attention is divided, when the mind is restless, or when priorities are unclear. They appear as justifications for inaction, as rationalizations for procrastination, and as distractions that prevent decisive, disciplined behavior. A focused mind is impervious to such deception. When you are clear about your goals and unwavering in your attention, excuses lose their power. They cannot seduce a person whose energy is fully aligned with purpose. Focus acts as both shield and compass, directing attention toward results and protecting your energy from diversion. A focused individual develops clarity in every decision. Every choice, no matter how small, is evaluated in terms of its alignment with long-term goals. Should you spend your time here or there? Should you invest in this opportunity or that? Should you commit your energy to this task or defer it for later? Focus transforms uncertainty into clarity. It allows you to see which actions are truly productive and which are distractions. It magnifies the impact of every effort because energy is concentrated rather than diffused. Focus ensures that your actions are purposeful, your time is respected, and your results are maximized. Moreover, focus is a multiplier of momentum. Consistency and discipline create initial movement, but focus magnifies its force. When attention is concentrated on a single target, small efforts compound exponentially. The universe responds to concentrated energy, aligning resources, opportunities, and guidance to the person who demonstrates unwavering attention. Focus creates leverage. The energy that would otherwise dissipate across multiple directions becomes concentrated, producing results far greater than the sum of individual actions. A person without focus may work tirelessly and achieve little. A focused individual moves steadily and achieves remarkably. Focus is also a safeguard against fear and doubt. When energy is scattered, the mind becomes vulnerable to hesitation and anxiety. Thoughts of inadequacy, uncertainty, and worry proliferate when attention is diffused. But focus creates a singular field of vision. It directs the mind to the task at hand, allowing confidence, clarity, and decisive action to take precedence over fear. A focused mind does not obsess over what might go wrong. It is absorbed in creating what can go right. It operates from a place of intentionality rather than reaction. Fear and doubt cannot find purchase when attention is firmly anchored in purpose. Another power of focus is its ability to enhance skill and mastery. Repetition, consistency, and dedication are essential, but without focus, learning remains superficial. Mastery requires deep engagement, a concentrated effort that allows the brain, body, and spirit to integrate knowledge into expertise. Focus channels energy into meaningful practice, sharpening skill, enhancing decision making, and creating a level of competence that attracts wealth and opportunity. Those who are scattered never achieve the same depth, and their potential remains untapped. Focus is the hidden multiplier of talent, amplifying natural abilities into exceptional performance. Focus also strengthens resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and distractions are inevitable in any journey toward abundance. Without attention, obstacles become overwhelming. With focus, setbacks are navigated with composure and efficiency. Focus allows you to see solutions where others see problems, to adapt when circumstances shift, and to maintain forward motion even in adversity. Resilience is born from concentrated energy. The more unwavering your focus, the less likely you are to be derailed by temporary difficulties. Your commitment to your vision ensures that challenges become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. A focused mind develops clarity of intention, which attracts aligned opportunities. The universe responds to coherent energy. When your thoughts, actions, and energy are unified, external circumstances bend to support your vision. Opportunities, connections, and resources appear, not randomly, but because your focused energy has prepared you to receive them. Dispersed attention sends conflicting signals, scattering resources and diminishing the impact of your efforts. Focus creates alignment, a magnetic resonance that draws abundance and prosperity toward you naturally and reliably. Finally, focus deepens the connection between intention and manifestation. It ensures that every action you take, every decision you make, and every effort you exert is aligned with your highest purpose. It converts ideas into results, goals into achievements, and dreams into reality. Focus is the lens that magnifies energy, the channel through which universal forces flow, and the invisible hand that aligns your actions with destiny. Without focus, even the most disciplined, prepared, and knowledgeable individual will struggle to manifest the abundance they desire. With focus, even modest effort becomes potent, and the journey from potential to achievement becomes inevitable. In essence, focus is the unseen force that amplifies discipline, multiplies results, and attracts opportunities. It concentrates energy, shields against distraction, and channels action into maximum impact. Those who cultivate unwavering focus move with purpose, act decisively, resist excuses, and align their energy with abundance. Focus transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, turning small, consistent actions into monumental achievement. It is not a limitation but a liberation, a compass that guides every decision, amplifies every action, and ensures that the energy you invest produces the wealth, opportunity, and prosperity you seek. Persistence is the silent force that transforms desire into achievement, dreams into reality, and effort into lasting financial results. Many people fail to understand that success is rarely the outcome of a single brilliant idea, a lucky break, or a moment of inspiration. Instead, success emerges from relentless persistence, the kind of determination that refuses to be deterred by setbacks, disappointments, or temporary failures. It is the repeated commitment to take action, maintain discipline, and move steadily toward a goal, even when progress seems slow, invisible, or uncertain. Persistence is not merely a habit. It is a declaration of faith in yourself and in the law of cause and effect. Every persistent step taken, no matter how small, sends a signal to the universe that you are serious, prepared, and worthy of abundance. Persistence requires an unwavering commitment to your vision. It is not enough to desire wealth, opportunities, or success. You must dedicate yourself to them consistently over time. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable, but persistence allows you to maintain momentum despite obstacles. It is the force that keeps you moving forward when others quit, when the path is unclear, and when results are not immediately visible. Those who persist develop an invisible strength, a resilience that propels them through difficulties while others falter. Persistence is the bridge between intention and manifestation, and it is through its steady application that dreams are realized. One of the most powerful aspects of persistence is that it turns failure into feedback. Every setback is not a signal to give up, but a lesson to learn, an opportunity to adjust, and a stepping stone to improvement. Those who give up at the first sign of resistance allow temporary difficulties to define their potential. Those who persist understand that the journey toward abundance is rarely linear, and that each obstacle contains a hidden opportunity for growth, skill development, and refinement. Persistence transforms disappointment into determination, frustration into fuel, and delay into